And according to this gadget here, we're live. Good morning. Welcome to Homebuilt Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, welcome. Sam's here. Sam, you beat me. Good morning, Sam. Sam says hello. Hello. And Neptunes is here too. Neptunes beat me as well. Right on, right on. Excuse me. Neptunes, good morning. Neptune says, hey Sam, hope you had a good holiday. Good morning. Right on. Welcome. Hope you all are doing awesome today on this fine Wednesday. It's fixing to be a nice day around here. Neptunes, how was your holiday? And Mike's here. Mike, the real Mike Johnson's here. Good morning, Mike. How are you today on this fine Wednesday morning? I'll give you all a big coffee cheers. What's everybody up to? Hope, and let me know, does sound okay? I'm still trying this wireless thing, so. Oh, Sam got an ad. Harry Dude's here. Harry Dude, what's up? Hey, folks. Hey, Harry Dude. How are you on this, let's see, Thursday morning for you? It's still weird. It's still crazy that Harry Dude's hanging out with us from the future. He's so far ahead, he's in an entirely next day. That's just incredible. If every time I stop and think about that all over the world, we're able to hang out here, have a good time, visiting with each other and talking shop projects and all that sort of thing. It's awesome. It's awesome. Harry Dude, I hope you're doing good this morning. Mike says, you're good. Right on. I think I'm going to continue using this thing. Neptune says, hey, hey Jeff, was your holiday good? Had to work a 16-hour day on Thanksgiving. Nice OT though. Yeah, that's a long day, but yes, it was good. Thanksgiving was good here. For those of you in other parts of this great big world, this past Thursday was Thanksgiving here in the U.S. It's a time to, spend some time with family and friends and celebrate Thanksgiving. To be thankful. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. It was good here, and yeah, I think all the leftovers are gone, and yeah, it was nice. But yes, a 16-hour day, Neptunes, man, I remember those days. Doing the corporate world for quite some time, there was quite a few times I had to work on Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, and I don't know if I ever actually had to work on Christmas Day. I think I may have had to once. Maybe it was like late in the evening or something like that. But yeah, the overtime was much appreciated because you also got the holiday. You already got the holiday pay, at least we did, and then you got the overtime. It was kind of nice. Right on. Well, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving anyway, Neptunes, even though you had to work a long day. Sam says YouTube has a commercial fetish. They keep playing them or they get the shakes. Yeah, that's how they work. Sam says sound is great. Right on. Right on. I'm feeling pretty confident or pretty comfortable with this. I think I'm going to switch over and start using that for the regular YouTube videos. Just to, maybe it helps reject some of the, I get traffic noise and I get airplanes that are always flying over, and I think I'm going to switch over and use that almost exclusively. Tony's here. Tony says, morning, sunshine. Good morning, Tony. How are you today? Harry Dude says, doing okay. Got a few jobs on, so plenty to do. Right on. Sam says, perhaps get a mini boom microphone. I've thought about that. I don't feel I need it out here necessarily. I mean, I could mount it like overhead where I normally am standing, but I think something like this or the shotgun mic that I use on my camera probably be a little better, because sometimes I'm moving around and have to move the boom around, and yeah, I think something like this would be a little bit easier. So don't be surprised though in some upcoming videos if you don't see me wearing this guy. Just because it's convenient. It's plug any wires in, which is kind of cool. Neptune says, yep, 60 hours with 16 holiday. Yep, that's what we used to get. Sam says, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in the UK. Yes, I believe it's strictly a US holiday. But I hope you had a good last Thursday anyway, regardless. Let's see here. Babo Vina Rolling Pin, what's up? Good morning. How are you this fine morning? Neptune says, sounds good, by the way. Right on, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. That's kind of why I've been trying it out here the last little bit. I've messed around with this some with my regular camera for videos, but I haven't completely committed to using this because I don't know. I'm reluctant to change sometimes. Dallo's here. Dallo says, Wednesday again. Here, South Korea is -7 Celsius. Ooh, that's getting down there. What is that? -7. Oh, it's not horrible, I guess. What's that, 20? Yeah, 28 or so Fahrenheit. That's about what we were this morning. Mike says, heck, it's also a working shop. Dusty Mike is just dirty. Yeah, we can't have a dusty Mike. It is a working shop. And my table here is a disaster. I need to spend some time when we're done here doing some cleaning up. Remember last week I was talking about that I had my chainsaw and stuff all here, and I needed to get to milling some boards. I finished up all the milling yesterday. It took me several days to get everything done. If you remember, we talked about after the live a week ago that I needed to get started on that, and I did. Got some slices done on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, but did not complete it. Then, of course, Thursday was Thanksgiving, and Friday it snowed, but I still got out there, made some cuts on Friday, and also over the weekend got some more done. Finally, I finished up slicing everything up yesterday, so I got that all wrapped up. That project is completely done. I still have to put a bunch of stuff away, but it's a disaster. I've got tools and stuff for the chainsaw. I've got sharpening stones because I've had to sharpen chainsaw chains, which I kind of want to talk about that here once we kind of all get up to speed. I just got a mess of dirt and grease. I'm going to try to move this and show you guys this disaster that I have to clean up. Let's see here. Yeah. So, I mean, look at this. Just dirt and grease and grime and chainsaw. Wear your PPE. Chainsaw protective shafts, and it's just a disaster. Back here, I've got just more tools and stuff, and oh my goodness, it's a mess. I gotta take care of that, because now, with that out of the way, it's time to get back to the acoustic guitar. And we got Sam coming through with the super chat. Right on, Sam. Sam says, for coffee in this freezing weather, gotta keep warm. Sam, thank you. Thank you so much. Keep me warm right here. And that'll definitely help keep the coffee pot filled. Right on, Sam. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Babavina says, nice to meet you. Oh, and also I want to say, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Says, nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you too. I'm glad you could tune in for the live. We do this every Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I don't know what that is wherever you are, but 9 a.m. MST. You have to do the math. Figure it out if you're in a different area. But yeah, we just, about an hour or so of us hanging out, and we talk about shop projects and, you know, different things, and talk about what I'm working on, and we just kind of hang out. It's a awesome time. Just to hang out with some friends, really. Kind of like we're just sitting around the campfire or something, and, you know, kind of open conversations. You got something that you want to, you know, something you're working on, feel free, chime in and ask away. And, you know, it's, I don't typically have a topic, you know, so we can talk about whatever, really. So right on, glad you're here. Neptune says, too cold for me. Harry Dude says, -7 is 19.4. Oh, -7. Oh, that's 5. I was looking at my thermometer wrong. Yeah, I see that now. It's just below 20. Yeah, my bad. I messed that up. I need to move the thermometer closer. It's kind of like across the shop, even though it's not that far. It's probably 6 feet from me, but I have to like do the one eye squint to try to see it. Here, I'll show you where it is. I've got this mount that I made. It's right there. There's my thermometer. I made this little mount deal that I can have the iPad on and like be able to swing it around, which is kind of cool. It says, considering water freezes at 0, way too cold for me. Well, Harry Dude, I hope you're enjoying warm weather in Australia. I hope your summer is going great. Neptune says, thank you, Samuel. Appreciate that. Yes, absolutely, 100% I do. Mike says, geez, we've got shops that are messier than yours. Well, yeah, but you know how it is when you wrap up a project. I think we all probably go through the same kind of thing in one way or another, right? You wrap up, you're working on a project and you're getting tools and you're moving materials and stuff, and then you wrap up that project and then everything's just kind of scattered. And those of you with a small workspace like me, it doesn't take a whole lot to really be a mess. A couple of days of chainsaw work. And that's the crazy part is I'm not even working here in the shop. I'm working outside the shop, running the chainsaw and everything, but it just gets destroyed. So anyway, I'm going to remedy that situation once we're done here, get this all cleaned up, and we're gonna get back to working on the acoustic, because it's been long enough. The finish is fully cured. I can bring that back out here and start the polishing, wet sanding, level sanding, buffing, getting it all shined up, and continue on with the assembly. That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Dallas says, that's my table's normal status. A lot of times mine is a mess in one way or another. But given the fact that I'm always working on something different, I gotta stop. Like right now, there's no way I can work on the acoustic with grease and sawdust and stuff all over. So we're gonna get that cleaned up. Mike says, sounds like an Arlo song, just hanging out on the group your group workbench. Sam says you may want to keep noodle pots in your workshop for break times. While that would be sort of interesting, I don't want to eat sawdust noodles. Of course, that might be a delicacy, at some point. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be cooking noodles out here. I love me some noodles, though. Yeah, you know, when it's break time, I just go in the house and grab something to eat. I'm fortunate enough to have the shop right here at my home area, so I don't have to worry too much about that. All right, so I've got some pieces of wood here that I wanted to show you guys. Some of the stuff that I finished milling up, I've run a couple smaller pieces through the drum sander. Now, I don't know how this is going to show up. Oh, look at that. It's just like a white board. There it is, sort of. Here, let me turn off some of these lights. It's going to get dark in here a little bit. And see if that shows. Nope, that doesn't make much difference. There you can see a little bit. That figure in there. I got to get it at just the right angle. There you can sort of see. Look at that. This is some of the stuff that I just milled. Turn that back on. There it is. If I hold it at a weird angle, you can kind of see the figure in there. A little bit of, I don't know what that is, mineral staining, I think, right here. But I think some of this is going to be cool. These are just some smaller boards that I milled. Ran them through the drum sander just a few times to smooth them out, to kind of get an idea of what they might look like. I have no idea yet at the moment what I'm going to do with some of these, but let's see if we can see this here. There's some nice figured stuff here, a little more figure over there. It's kind of hard to get the light to show it. Where is it? Where are we at here? Yeah, it's really kind of difficult, but I think it's going to make some cool projects. What those are going to be, I don't know yet. Maybe some guitar tops. Might take some pieces, make some guitar tops out of it. And yeah, I don't know, it just kind of feels good to have these things sliced up. This one's not too great. It's got a bunch of cracks and stuff in here. So the hard part with some of these boards is that I've had these logs sitting here for like almost, probably at least a year and a half. And they were down and almost dry when I got them. So there's a lot of cracks in some of these. So I'm going to lose a fair bit of material, but there is still plenty of good chunks in here. Yeah, this one looks really cool. Look at all that. I got 4 or 5 smaller boards here, but most of them are still in slab form. So I gotta, in fact, there's some leaning up right outside the window here. I gotta get them stacked and covered and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's gonna make for some cool projects. Heritage says, I call it reset. Finish on the job and pack up and reset for the next batch of jobs. Yes, that's absolutely what it is. It's like you finish the project and it's not completely done because you still got to clean up. And once everything's cleaned up, yeah, it's the reset time in between projects. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Sam says use a leaf blower inside the workshop to get rid of the dust. You know, you might say that like kind of joking, but I do. Not a leaf blower, but I will use the air compressor. When it's nice outside, I'll open up, like the door and just put on a dust mask and just, once I've cleaned everything up, just blow all the dust, let it go out the door. And I do that. Do that. Mike says it's Alice's Restaurant. Or give it a listen. I'm quite certain I've heard that, but I'm gonna have to re-listen. Mike says, how thick are those boards? Oh, you did that with a chainsaw mill? Yes. These were milled at 1 inch, 1 inch thick. They weren't quite this smooth right off the mill. I'll show you. I've got one right here that was right off the mill. but then I sent them through the drum sander. So these are right now probably just under an inch, would be my guess. Oh, this one's actually just about 3/4. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch. So I mill them at an inch, some of them, knowing that I'm going to lose some when it comes time to flatten. And these look like a little thicker. Yeah, these are about 13/16. So just over 3/4. Yeah, so when I started milling this log, the first, obviously a log is round. So while I'm cutting at the top, I usually mill them a little bit thinner. That way, they're not full width of the maximum width of the log. So I'll mill them about an inch, depending on what I'm cutting, I guess. But these I milled the first couple of slabs just at around an inch. Then once the log got thicker, I changed that to about 2 inches. So I've got some nice thick slabs that I can use for other things. But yeah. So yes, I did that all with a chainsaw mill. That's, I don't have a bandsaw or anything large enough for any sort of heavy duty cuts. So all I have is the chainsaw mill, Alaskan chainsaw mill. And, just that's what I do. I'll grab this piece that I got sitting here and show you what it looks like right off the mill. Ouch. So here it is right off the mill. So it's still pretty rough. That's why if I'm going for 3/4 inch boards, I'm going to mill them at an inch, and that gives me plenty to plane and flatten. So this is, let's see. I can do this without dropping stuff. So this board came off of the end here. Sliced that off and was left with that. Then I took another slice off of the front. I try to cut them in a lot of different ways, except for the really wide parts, because I want that quarter sawn material. But yeah, it's a little bit of a workout, but I really enjoy it. Sam says, I see the future. My tablet PC and the desktop are playing out of sync and it looks trippy. I can imagine. Neptune says, just fill the cracks with epoxy if it's a big project. Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem doing that. Look, I got all dusty. You should have seen me yesterday when I got done slicing the last of these boards. Sam says, sawdust snowstorms. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. You get the air going, dust is flying everywhere. Neptune says, how long is the blade on the chainsaw? So the bar that I have on my saw is 42 inch. It's 42 inches long. The mill that I have, the particular set of rails and things that I have for it, will go up to 48. But I don't think my saw would run a 48 inch bar. I think this 42 that I'm running is like right on the edge of the power requirements that it takes. The chainsaw, the power head that I'm running is a 370. It's a Husqvarna 372 XP. So 72 cc. I think technically it's a 71, but I think that's right on the edge for running this 42 inch bar. But it does get the job done. I'm kind of on the lookout for a larger power head. So if anybody has one laying around in their shed, let me know. I'd love to find like a 100 cc, 120 cc power head. But for now, I'm using what I have, and it works well. There's something fun, especially the other day. So I think if you saw the post where I snapped the picture of the process and it was snow on the ground and all that, there's something that I really enjoy, even when it's cold. You know, you're kind of bundled up, but you're out there working and running the saw, and you got the smell of the exhaust and things in the snow. There's something to me that's kind of, it's kind of nice. Call me weird, but I do enjoy it. You know, it was 14 degrees when I was out there milling, and I didn't mind one bit. Of course, if I had to do something else, that'd be a totally different story, but there's just something about it. Maybe it's because you're working and you're not getting cold, and I don't know. But it was fun. I enjoy it. I do need to find some more logs, though, because now I don't have any more logs here. So I've got everything cut up that I have, so I'm going to be on the lookout for some more material. Sam says, do you use O'Keeffe's Working Hands hand cream? I use it. It's fantastic, especially in cold, dry weather. I have used that before. When I used to work on a dairy farm, and you know, you're outside almost all the time in the cold, wet, dry snow, wet, dry snow, all sorts of extremes. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, I would, my skin would just crack, you know, and it would hurt quite a lot. And I've tried all kinds of stuff. I can't think of the one that used to work the best. I can picture the bottle, but I can't think of the name of it. It might have been that. I don't remember. But yes, I'm familiar with it. I've used it. It does work well. But right now, it's not, I don't know why I don't quite have that same sort of issues. Maybe it's because I'm not always out in the cold. So something when I was talking about this earlier, I said I wanted to touch on sharpening. So how many of you use chainsaws on a, maybe not a regular basis, but maybe you do some sharpening occasionally. I'm curious to know what methods you use or have tried that work well for you. Now, so the reason that I kind of want to talk about this for a minute is because while I'm milling, especially this wood was really dry. So the drier it is, the harder it is to cut. So my chain would go dull, after, maybe 4 cuts through a big board. It would start to really dull out, and I have to stop and touch it up. I have tried a lot of different methods. Freehand filing, I don't really like it. It does work. It works okay for me. I think probably I just need more practice with it, really. But I've tried some of the, jig-based things. This guy, this works pretty well. It kind of has some markings and stuff on there for your angles and stuff. But one thing that I tried, I was talking to my brother over the weekend, and we were talking about the same thing. He kind of told me what he has. He's got one of them little 12-volt deals, kind of a Dremel type thing that he really likes. So I got to thinking, I'm like, why can't I go get some of these little sharpening stones and use it in a rotary tool? Just put it in the... this guy, and sharpen it that way freehand. So I tried it out, and it worked awesome. I can sharpen this, that great big chain that runs on my saw. I mean, it only took, I don't know, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. And it seemed like it was it was sharper than any other method. I don't know why that is, but I think that's gonna be my new way to sharpen chainsaw chains. These little stones has an 1/8 inch shank on there, fits right in a rotary tool. Sharpen. It worked awesome. you know, maybe it's not the approved method by, you know, woodsmen and people that use chainsaws for a living. But for what I do with them, man, that worked great. Dastardly Dave's here. Dave says, sup all. What's up, Dave? How are you doing this Wednesday morning? Sam says, how's the guitar? Sam, the guitar is doing great. It's been hanging up for almost 2 weeks now while the finish cures. It is now time. It's all done. Well, it's done curing, I should say. And it's time that I pull that thing down, get it back out here, and start level sanding and getting it buffed out, getting it all shined up, and then I can move on with the final assembly. There's still quite a bit that I need to do to it though. So the very next step is to get the finish shined up, get all the, you know, any imperfections out of it. I got a little bit of a tiny bit of orange peel in there. Got to level sand that all out, get it all nice and shiny. Then we will bolt the neck on and get the neck glued, the fretboard glued down. Then I'm going to install then I need to radius the fretboard, then install the frets and glue on the bridge, and that's almost it. Really, most of the work is now behind us, and yeah, so I'm hoping to be started on that. Like I said, I need to clean up the shop, or, you know, at least clean off my table, get everything nice and clean, and I'll start working on that guitar. So I think at this moment, I don't see any issue that will keep me from having it done by the end of the year, which is what I wanted. I want to be able to wrap it up at the end of the year, you know, or at the latest. So at the moment, I don't see where anything's going to prevent that from happening. So I'm feeling pretty good. Just gotta keep moving forward on it. So yeah, it's going good. Just got to get it shiny, and then we can move on. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is installing the frets. I'm going to install it the same way I installed the frets on the first acoustic, which was after the neck is glued to the body. The first time around, I really did not like that process. It felt very clunky, if that makes any sense. It didn't go very smooth. I'm used to installing frets on like a, electric guitar neck. So, it's not attached to the body. I can take it to my arbor press the frets in, and pretty much be done with it. But doing it this way, it's not that easy. I have to use a different sort of a fret press system. I got it all blocked up with pieces of wood. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. But the only reason I want to try this again is because I've only done it one time, and that was on the first acoustic. So I want to try this same process again and see if it goes a little smoother. Ultimately, I think what I would like to do is install the frets before the fretboard is even glued on, because then I could just arbor press, bam, bam, bam. There's upsides and downsides to both ways. So I like to try something at least more than once so that I feel like I have a good understanding of the process. And yeah, just installing it while the neck is completely attached, it is awkward. But I'll try it one more time, give it a fair chance, and then if it's still awkward and kind of clunky feeling, then I'll try something different. But that's the only thing I'm not really looking forward to. The advantage of doing it that way, though, is once you glue the fretboard extension down, and then you radius the fretboard, you get to level everything out. Any imperfections as you've glued it down, any humps or whatever, you get to level those out before you fret the instrument, which is kind of cool. So I understand the advantage in that, as far as that way goes, but just getting those frets in there, it's just, I only have one time experience with that, but it was super clunky. Ace Man McCool says, hi, just joined the stream as I've just finished work. I've recently watched your videos when you made a cigar box guitar. Any plans to make more? Yes. Yes, I do. Hang on. You guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to step across the shop and I'm going to grab a cigar box that I recently got. And I'll show you. And then I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Just talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to step over here. But since I have this mic on, I can still talk to you guys. So I'm grabbing this, not tripping over some more boards. I've got chunks of wood everywhere. I'm back. See? Told you. Recently got this. So I've been thinking about what it's going to become. This is, I don't know, it's a decent size box. Tape measure, there it is. So this is about, what is that, 9? It's about 10 inches by 8 inches, but it's thinner than a lot of the normal ones. This is just over 1.25 inches. And I've been pondering what I want to build, what sort of a instrument I want to build with this. I'm kind of thinking like a cigar box bass. Maybe it's a 2-string bass, a 3-string bass. But I think something like that would be kind of cool. Maybe a 3-string. You know, just do a longer scale length neck. Put some bass strings on there. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, this will probably be the next build. I don't know yet when I'm going to start on it. Because, you know, I am trying to finish up the acoustic guitar that I'm working on. It's probably going to be more of a next year kind of project. I've probably got probably 2 episodes to film yet for the acoustic guitar, and that's just a guess. If I can fit it into one, that'd be cool, but excuse me, my throat. I probably got at least 2 episodes to make. I think, you know, one with maybe the assembly and one maybe the sound, you know, where I'm actually stringing it up kind of thing, setting it up. Plus I also got another project that I want to get to this year if I can. And then I'll probably do a year-end wrap-up. Neptunes, I think that was your idea, you know, top so many projects for 2023. I think I'm going to do that because that sounds fun. So that's going to take, that'll take the video projects probably into January. So probably won't be before that I'll start on this. But it will be coming up. So Ace Man McCool, welcome. Welcome to the stream. And yes, I do have plans to make some more CBGs. They are fun. I do enjoy making them. Harry Dude says, can you lubricate the chainsaw blade as you cut? I think I saw that on bandsaw milling. I may be wrong. You could. So the chainsaw has an oiler, right? So it oils the chain, and that runs while I'm milling. That's part of the saw operation. But yeah, I never thought about like an external tank. You know, like on the bandsaw ones, you know, they'll have a water tank or some sort of a tank that helps lubricate. I wonder if that would make any difference. That'd be something I'd have to look into. That's a good thought. Something different from the chainsaw lubrication. Good thinking. I'm gonna have to investigate that. Sam says, don't forget to like. It's free. Right on, Sam. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Guys, if it only takes a second, doesn't cost you anything. I'm not gonna spam call you about your car's extended warranty. There's those lights again. Remember the other day the lights were flickering? Now it stopped. Skoden Custom Lures says hello from Alberta, Canada. Hello, Skoden Custom Lures, and welcome. Right on. How's everything going up in Alberta? You guys have snow and stuff up there yet? Right on. Welcome. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. Neptune says, yes, thank you, Sam. Please hit the like button. Yeah, right on. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Dastardly Dave says, could you do a 2-string diddly bow? Yeah, you could. You could. I've done a 1-string diddly bow. I made a 2-string one once, and that's something I want to revisit at some point too. But the 2-string one that I did was a pair of strings like a 12-string guitar. So they're right next to each other. They were supposed to be tuned in octaves. The problem that I'm having with that one is I didn't fret that. I left that at fretless, and it's really hard to get the high octave string to ring out cleanly. So I'm thinking I might go back and fret that one at some point. You know, just cut some slots in there and slap in some frets. That one, though, is going to be tricky because it would be a totally custom scale length. So I'd have to lay out the scale length basically from scratch. If that sounds interesting and something you might like to see in a video, let me know. Because, well, I would be learning it as well, because I've never laid out a custom scale length from scratch. So that'd be a learning experience, maybe for the both of us. But yeah, 2-string diddly bow, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know why I'm thinking bass though. I think maybe Neptune's mentioned that, a bass. There's somebody, one of you mentioned a cigar box bass, and I just think that'd be kind of neat. Sam says, "Future Jeff already showed us." You're stuck in the matrix there, Sam, or something. Mike says, "I had a thin box and added 1/2-inch additional mahogany sides to thicken it up for my CBG. Photos will be loaded on the group page." Right on. 1/2-inch to the sides. So like inside kind of thing. I will be looking. See, this one's kind of cool. It has got like a, I don't know, a little trim or something right here. It's kind of a cool box. I don't know what that is. Cedar of some sort? Mahogany? I don't know. It looks sort of like a mahogany. I don't know, I just think it's a cool box though, but plus it's red, and that's like my favorite color. Skodan says, Mike, I bet that added some resonance. Yeah, it probably did. Add a little mass to it, give it a little stiffness and possibly resonance as well. Sam says, if you apply cutting compound from a tap and die set to a chainsaw blade, would it cut faster? I don't think so. You know, the cutting compound is used to lubricate the tap and the die when you're cutting metal or drilling. I don't think it would make any difference to wood, right? It's like you don't oil your drill bit, at least not that I've ever seen, when you're drilling a piece of wood. And I kind of feel like that would be similar, but maybe running a little bit of water, like Harry Dude said, on a bandsaw mill, that might make some sort of difference. I think part of the downside, if you are adding additional oil to the cut, I think there's a chance that it could soak into the wood, right? And it would stain the wood, which is not something that I've seen when you're running just the chainsaw. Yes, the chainsaw is oiling the chain, but it's not putting it necessarily on the teeth. I've not encountered any issue with the bar oil getting on the cut, but I suppose that might be that. I can see how that could be an issue if you're adding additional oil. I wouldn't want to soak the pieces in oil. It may not make any difference, but I can, trying to foresee any issues, and that's the only thing that I could see. But I don't know. I haven't tried it. Skodan Custom Lure says, no snow yet. I've been loving watching your journey in luthiery. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm also a luthier. Right on. Man, there's those lights. You guys see that? It just automatically flickers. I don't know why. Right on. Well, thank you, Skoden. What sort of builds do you do? What do you build? Acoustics, electrics, both? I'd love to know more. I'd love to know what everybody works on. You know, I know some people that only build acoustic. I like to try everything. You know, I've done, well, at the moment, I've done the acoustic, the solid bodies, the bass. Yeah, I'd like to know what sort of stuff you make. Skoden says, my real name's Darcy, by the way. Right on. Well, Darcy, Jeff, nice to meet you. Okay. I'm not even going to wait for your reply, Darcy. Here's something I want to get your take on. So, I recently finished. You probably caught it. I finished milling up some boards. So, and I've got some nice figured pieces of wood. This is quarter sawn. I would call that quarter sawn. Tiny bit off, but let's call it quarter sawn. This wood is what I believe to be cottonwood, which is from the poplar family, basically. What do you think? What would be your first thought? See that figure? Of a cottonwood back and side set. Not something I've heard of, but it's basically a poplar. I think that could look kind of cool. You know, maybe I don't know, spruce top or something on an acoustic. Nice figured cottonwood. I've not heard of anybody use cottonwood for pretty much anything. From my understanding, a lot of people kind of just think of it as kind of junk wood, but I kind of like it. And I've been thinking about that. It's like, And honestly, that's partly why I cut these pieces to the size that I cut them. Because I'm thinking side sets. I don't know. But I like to use non-traditional. I like the idea of trying non-traditional materials to do traditional type things, if you know what I'm saying. I think it'd be pretty awesome to have, you know, to build something out of a wood that most people may disregard. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Mike says, photo on the group page. Allowed for jack and volume knobs on the side, and yes, additional resonance for the pickup. P.S. We can't see flicker in the lights. All right? I'll shut my mouth about it. Maybe it's just my eyeballs. Maybe I need my cheater glasses on and I won't see it. Dazzlerly Dave says, chainsaw oil keeps the chain cool. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't lubricate the cut. It is only for the chain. Sam says beeswax may also be good for drilling deeper holes. It might be. I don't typically put anything on wood when I'm drilling it. I just make sure to use a good sharp bit. I just don't want any extra oils of any type, wax or anything. I guess. Excuse me. Hang on. I guess it depends, right? So if I'm working on an unfinished piece, good grief. And I'm going to be finishing it with something. I don't want to have any oils on there that could affect the finish. I guess if it's already finished, I would, like on a guitar, right? So if I'm bolting the neck on, I'm going to wax those threads the neck bolts, neck screws, so that they go in easier. And I always wax them because I don't want to break the screws off. But I don't think I would wax them before I have the finish on there. I just don't want any oils or extra wax on there that, like I said, could affect the finish. Darcy says, both acoustic and electric. I'm working on a Flying V. Nice. It says, how soft is it? If soft, use it for tops. Yeah, I don't know. I got to look up the specs on it. So this one, the only reason I'm guessing it's cottonwood is because I don't know what else grows around here that could fall into that category. I sent a sample of it off. I think it was a piece of this. This is just a short piece. I sent a sample off to, I think it's like the U.S. Forest Service or some division of that, and they do wood identification. And when I got the ID back, all it said was populus, right? So if you look up populus, all of the poplar type species fall under that main, what is that, the genus? I don't remember on that one. So looking at all the species that are considered populous, cottonwood is one of them. And that's the only one that I am aware of that grows around here. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that this is what that is. I do know for a fact that it's populous. The exact species of that, yeah, a little bit up in the air, but I'm pretty confident that it's cottonwood. So I got to look that up and see what the specs are. I think it would make a cool back and side sets. I've got some bigger slabs that you could get some nice pieces out of. I don't know. Use it for tops. That would make a pretty wild top. It'd be kind of cool. Sam says, I get to see things twice. He's in the Matrix stream. Skoden says, would be an amazing salad body. Yes, I have material for a salad body. I have slabs big enough that I could get some salad bodies out of there too. And that's that's also a thought. It'd be cool to make a salad body, and if possible, maybe an acoustic. I don't know. Sam says, do you work with white oak? Not too much. We don't, unless you go to like a specialty place out here. White oak is kind of hard to find. I do have some white oak that I brought back from Pennsylvania, man, quite a few years ago. I was saving it. I've been saving it for projects, and I just haven't gotten to those projects yet. But I do have a little bit, not a lot, and just a couple of, maybe 4 foot, 3 foot pieces. But I do a little bit. I've made a few things from it. But it's not something I use all that much, but I do like white oak. I like working with it. I like the look of it, and I think it's cool. Skoden says, poplar tends to be a softwood. Yes, a soft hardwood, which is kind of weird, but yeah. Corey says, Skoden Custom Lures, do you make soft plastic bait or paint custom crankbait? Question about your lures, Darcy? Yes, we'd like to know as well. Skoden says, try it. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work. Experimenting is what pushes our art further. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Just because something's always been done a certain way doesn't mean you can't try something different, right? A lot of times, well, I gotta be careful because it's like I kind of addressed that in the video last week, if you guys watched that. There's a certain few people that want to stick with certain ways, right? And if you stray from those ways, I'm not saying you guys are, because I know you guys aren't this way. People, I don't know how to say that politely. tradition is held strong with some, and if you stray from that, then you're doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I firmly don't believe that. You know, like that's why I'm thinking, you know, I want to try to bend a set of sides from old cottonwood pieces, and I think it might work. So and I was thinking about this the other day when I was pondering if, you know, something like this would make an acoustic guitar. By the time I get through experimenting with different things that I want to experiment with, there's going to be, if I get a successful instrument out of them, there's going to be so many acoustics. Because I want to try this back and side set. I want to try that silver maple. Remember we talked about the silver maple a while back? I want to try silver maple back and side sets, because remember how bendy that was? I had that little piece and you could bend it almost in a complete loop. I want to try bending that. And if it all works, I'm going to be busy putting together acoustics. maybe that would be a experimenting video. I don't know. But when I start, let me know if you guys encounter this sort of thing, right? So you get an idea to experiment on something. It doesn't have to be a guitar, but just some sort of a project or a technique or a joinery thing or something. And you start going down the rabbit hole of what if this, what if that, what if this? And you know, there's so many different things you want to try. You know, there's like a lifetime of work sometimes in some of the ideas. It's like, you know, all the experiments lead to more experiments. And that's what's cool. I love experimenting and learning and trying new things. And, you know, I think we all should, right? We should all have that sort of experiment stuff. You know, experiment with things, figure out if it doesn't work. It might be the next awesome thing. You might start the next cool whatever. You know, don't be afraid to experiment with stuff. Like Darcy said, the worst that can happen, it doesn't work. You know, I've got a friend here locally who builds acoustic guitars, and he's told me more than once, you wouldn't believe the number of you know, acoustic bodies that I've thrown in the campfire. Basically because, you know, of some issue, or, you know, an issue or something else, you know, has gone wrong. And yeah, you know, things are going to happen. Skoden Custom Lure says to Corey, mostly paint plastics, crankbaits. Right on. Mike says, I would recommend trying the cottonwood now in the bending to see if it'll hold without cracking after a month or so. Yeah, I mean, I might just resaw a piece of this and throw it in the bender and see what happens. Ace Man McCool says, I'm in the UK and hardwoods is harder to get a hold of and really expensive. The normal DIY shop mainly stock pine. I'm always envious of the different types of woods available in other countries. Interesting. So, something froze up there on me. That's interesting. So when you go to the lumber store, it's mostly pine in there, like softwoods? What sort of... I've no experience. I've never been to the UK, so I don't really know. So I've got a couple questions, and that's one thing that I like about us being able to hang out here. Is I get to learn stuff about your guys' area. What all trees are there? Hardwood trees in the UK that are native? Like, do they, or is it mainly softwood forests, or are there not forests? I don't know. Because it's interesting. And so if mostly pine and stuff like that's available, I get it. You know, it's hard to, and probably expensive, like you said, to get certain hardwoods. And that's why I don't mind experimenting with stuff like this. This wood, a lot of people I know would would not even consider the idea of trying to build a guitar out of this. But me, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, wow, I wonder if we could. I wonder if that would work. I mean, if you go and buy, a good set for building, an acoustic or even an electric solid body, they can get a little more expensive, especially now. Prices have increased on stuff, and so that, if I get the opportunity to experiment with something, and especially this log, I didn't pay anything for this log. This was sitting, I got it about, I don't know, 15 miles or so from where I live, and it was just laying there. And the owners were just trying to clean some stuff out of this property that they'd, fairly recently taken over, and they just said, take it. So I want to get the maximum use out of it because stuff's expensive. But Ace Man, I am curious though. What hardwoods are native to the UK? And Sam, you could probably help with that too. Mike says, gotta go. Take care, all. Right on, Mike. Have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Sam says, do you use additional wood mite treatments for peace of mind in the workshop? No, I don't. I don't do any. I don't have any issues with that. This stuff here, we just don't really have that kind of problem that I'm aware of. Skoden says, have a great one, Mike. Sam, be safe, Mike. Corey says, be safe, Mike. Sam says, we do have oak, but it costs so much per length. So is oak native to the UK? And is it white oak? Is it red oak? Pin oak? What kind of oak? Black? I think there's a black oak. And do they get big, or are they mainly small? Okay. Oh, Harry dude, are you still here? Again. Let me know if you are. I got an update for you. That's interesting. See, oak. So oak is native to UK. Is that the only hardwood that grows around there? See, here we don't have, in my area. I live in the state of Colorado, in the U.S. We don't have, in my exact area, we don't have a lot of hardwood trees. At least not like the maples and oaks and, that sort of thing. We do have, what I mainly see around here is we have elm. At least right here in my area, we have Siberian elm. We have cottonwoods, and those sorts of trees. There's a couple others. I can't think of them at the moment, but mostly elms, cottonwoods. In some of the city areas where there's been trees planted, you see all kinds of stuff. But out, where I live, mainly elm, cottonwood. There's another one. I can't think of it now. I think it's also a kind of poplar species, a populus. But we don't have a ton of hardwoods around here. We do have a fair bit of softwoods, the pines and spruce. I think spruce. I need to look for that. I want to find a spruce tree. We do have pine forests, softwood forests, but not so much the dense hardwood forests like we had back east where I'm from. Henry says, I'm late. Have a good week. Henry, good morning. We got a couple minutes. Henry says, at least the ponderosa pine smells nice. Yes, ponderosa pine. Thanks, Henry. That's another one that we have quite a bit of. But yeah, our native selection is not super diverse here in this area. Harry Dude says, we have what they call Tasmanian oak here. Haven't used it much. I've heard of Tasmanian oak. I was browsing the other day, Harry Dude, a lumber place. They're out of Australia. I can't think of the name at the moment, but they're selling, they sell guitar back and side sets and, materials for building guitars. And I saw several different ones in there that looked really cool. More of the Australian species. Oh, and Harry Dude, really quick. Remember a couple weeks ago, we were talking about, actually it's probably been more than that, a month ago or whatever, the SM57 that I was, had the wobbly top. I ended up getting, I never did mess with it. I was going to take it all apart, but I ended up just getting a big foam windscreen for an SM57, putting that over the top, and I've been using that for voiceovers on videos now. Not an issue. The big foam windscreen holds everything solid, and it's been working fine. Just wanted to give you that update. Sam says English only. English oak and Cecil oak are native to the UK. Interesting. Corey says that's when you take your chainsaw and have it bored and polished, make it into a hot saw. More power and more RPM. Yes. Corey, actually, I would love to do that. I really like this saw, but for what I'm using it for, I think it needs a little bit more. So I've been pondering, some different mods to it, but I want to find somebody that could maybe help with some of that, because I've never done it. Maybe like the muffler mod I see a lot of people do, and yeah, some port work and all that. I think it'd be cool. I'm 100% for that idea. Ace Man says, we mainly import wood for the building trade. We do have native hardwood trees like oak, but they're not cut down en masse for lumber. Most of the hardwood is imported and the cost is really high. Wow. Says, I end up buying old solid furniture to break down to use the wood for cigar box guitar necks. Yes. That's interesting. So none of it's locally sourced for lumber. It's all imported. That makes sense. It's going to be expensive if it's imported. Yeah. Huh. Wow. Sam says, whoever programmed the autocorrect needs to lay off the coffee and sugar. I know that sometimes. Corey says, the Hospital Barno 372 chainsaw is what you call tree felling chainsaw. It can easily handle a 5-foot bar very easily. Oh, yeah, I got you. I'm guessing that's autocorrect there. Yes, mine is that's funny. Hospital Barno. Husqvarna 372. That's what I have. It is awesome saw. Oh, it went away. Oops, sorry, Corey. I know what you were saying. And I fully believe that it can handle it. It just needs a little tweaking. Heritage says Southern Tonewoods. Yes, that was it. That's it. Yeah, I was looking at some of their stuff. Have you ever dealt with them for anything? They have some cool stuff on there. This is glad to hear you got the SM57 happening. Yeah, I just decided to go a different route with it. I'm like, let me just convert it to a voiceover mic. And so far, I'm liking it. You see a lot of people in the podcasts and stuff using that Shure SM7B. I'm sure you guys have all seen that. It seems like the podcaster thing to use now. The sucker's like $400. And I've seen several comparison videos of using a 57 with this big windscreen compared to a SM7B. They sound pretty similar, at least to my old half-gone ears. So I decided to just go that route. I'm like, I got a 57, a little bit rattly. We'll put a windscreen on it, no more rattle, and it seems to be making a pretty good voiceover mic. I mounted it on a shock mount kind of deal, so you don't get, that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's been working pretty good. Sam says, thank you for the awesome stream today, Jeff. You absolute legend. I don't know about the legend part, but thank you, Sam. I really appreciate it. But yeah, let's see. There you go, Corey. Yeah, the 372. Yes, yes, it's great. It is. It's not a I don't even know what I want to say, but anyway, the Husqvarna 372, not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but it's a great saw, and I would love to open it up a little bit more to see if we can get it to have a little more oomph. It's got a fair bit now, but I think for what I'm doing with it, it needs a little more. Let's see. Sam says, thanks, Neptunes, for your time today. Skoden says, take care, all. Right on. Right on. Corey, really quick, if you got any suggestions for someone to learn some of that stuff from, let me know, because I would like to. Anyway, guys, with that being said, we need to wrap this up because I got a shop to clean up, and then I got to get to working on the acoustic. I heard it says I've bought from them before. If they don't ship internationally, I can help you out if you like. They're in Melbourne, like me. Oh wow, so you could just like take a buzz over there. And Melbourne, right? Am I saying that correctly? I don't want to say Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne, right? Tell me if I'm saying that right, because I want to say it right. That's awesome, though. You can go over there, browse their inventory. I don't know if they do that, but that'd be kind of a fun little field trip. Neptune says, thanks, Sam. Have a great week. Dello says, have a good week, everyone. Sam says, be safe, everyone. Right on. And thank all of you for joining in. Because, well, without you guys joining in, it would just be me sitting here staring at the iPad. Probably shedding a tear. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to come hang out here at Home Built Workshop. We get to talk about things, you know the drill, all the cool stuff. Definitely is a time that I look forward to every week, being able to hang out with all of you. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. We just had Thanksgiving here in the US, and I am thankful for all of you. I really am. And I'm not just saying that because, I am. You guys are awesome. So anyway, that being said, I'm going to sign off for the day. Be on the lookout this weekend. I got the milling. I got the video of me doing some of the milling on some of these boards. Going to be coming up this weekend. So be sure to go give that a watch. And I'm going to get to cleaning. Thanks, guys. Stay safe, stay well. Have an awesome rest of your week. Get out in your shops. Build some cool things. Make some stuff with your hands. I don't care what it is. But be safe doing it and have fun doing it. And till next time, y'all take care. We'll see you later. Thanks, guys. I hit the button. Come on, button. I did it again. Oh, hey, look. Heritage says, please don't say Melbourne. I won't. Heritage says, catch you soon, dude. See, now I'm back. I hit the button to end, and it didn't end, so now I get to read more more comments. Corey says you want to use a chisel bit grinder on your chainsaw blade, then you will start throwing 3 to 5 inch chips. Woo! That would be nuts. All right, I'm going to try this again. I'm out of here. I'm going to go clean. You guys take care. Later. There we go.